Oh my gosh. Wait, I need
Good
like
morning, everyone. This is Oscar,
And this is Pablo.
and
And it's time
to
to
be
be
so
so
for
for real.
real. Bitch.
Okay, no.
All right, well,
So we have a
I
podcast.
know we're trying things out. This is our first podcast.
I feel awkward. I
Just
don't even
touching water, touching
Yeah, we're just trying to
base,
see like how it works, like what we would even talk about.
joining the podcast narrative with
Yeah.
everyone else.
Yes. And
But we don't
also
want to be like those people that just join a podcast and it's like kind of like the same thing to
no,
just
yeah,
hop on board with everyone else.
exactly. Like I feel like we just talk a lot
And we're
and
very
like
unhinged, so like, and people like that, so like, might as well
yeah.
just like
And we
bring
have a
this.
very specific vocabulary such as be so for
Like, be
real.
so for real.
So I think that like we'll just be able to like just like dive
Exactly.
into
Include it
that.
to everyone.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So basically, we're starting a podcast called Be So For Real. We're in my apartment right now. We turn everything around. This is like our first time. We're using these little like mini microphones and shit. But
But
we
I feel
have
like
a
as
lot
time
to talk about.
progresses,
We're gonna get
we're
more.
gonna get getting bigger. Our
No,
own
like we're gonna get a
studio.
studio, y'all.
Mm,
Like literally a studio and everything. It's just gonna be a vibe.
exactly.
But also, okay, I think that there's like the whole narrative online. Oh, I know what to talk about. Everyone thinks you have a crush on me.
Oh no, guys. So recently,
so recently.
so recently, Paula had posted a TikTok about us going to go see Siza. And I was like, okay, cute little video, whatever. And then I would like get to see the comments, and then all these MFs. Oh,
I'm Babs.
MFs.
I'm on a focus.
I'm like, can we swear? I'm like,
I think we can swear. I mean, we just can't say like crazy words.
No, yeah, but
So,
it's like, and then people were saying that I had a crush on Pablo, babe. That narrative is out the door.
yeah, I think, okay, this is actually interesting because, so Oscar has this one friend, right? And I used to think this one friend was cute or whatever, and I'd be like, Oscar, like, do you never feel that type of way? And he was like, oh, we just kind of like established ourselves as friends, like, and I was like, that's like not possible. But I'm now the cute person in the scenario. I'm now the cute friend in the scenario.
Bitch.
No, and it's
Oh my
honestly so
god.
true. Like any guy that I hang out with, any friend that I hang out with, especially a gay friend, like hello, like we're both LGBTQ plus. It's just like
Oh, you're
never
like ABC
normal
plus.
to
I'm like,
be
what?
friends. Like literally, like even when I would post videos with my other friend, like Drew,
Yeah.
everyone would always be like, "Oh my gosh, like he has a crush on you, he has a crush on you." So I found it interesting when people said that, but I think it literally is only a thing with like gay boys can't be friends without people
Yeah.
assuming
In this community, I feel like just everyone. 'Cause I
in this
think
community.
in this community, I feel like,
Yeah,
but I feel like everyone's just so used to like, obviously when the gay community, it's like they just jump into a relationship or they do
yeah,
things really fast.
yeah,
So it's more so like everyone just assumes that they're just in a relationship, but they like each other.
yeah,
But let's be so for. I feel like it goes for like when people think just because you're hanging out with a straight guy, you have a crush on them. But it's like, oh no, like we're literally just friends.
yeah. Exactly. No, like gay boys can be friends with gay boys can be friends with straight boys can be friends with straight. Like it's
Or like
literally
vice versa. Yeah.
like no, and it's actually an issue. I've seen it with like everything. Like whenever I bring a boy into my content who's my friends, it's always immediately like, oh my gosh, you guys are dating. Oh my gosh, this or that. Just because it's like not normal for like two people to be so openly themselves next to each other. But we're here, y'all.
We're here and we're queer.
We're queer. Okay, well, I'm like you're queer. I'm not. I'm bi. No, I'm kidding. But no, yeah. So we saw that whole narrative. But Oscar met SZA the other day. I don't even know if I should just jump into that, but I feel
Guys,
like we should
I mean, there's some things I can't say, but I do want to touch a
get
little
into
bit.
it a little
Yeah,
bit.
get into a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so I feel like I'm just gonna bring up how we got there, and then you can say like how everything that
Yeah.
happened to you from there.
Okay.
So basically, Oscar and Jordy have been planning to go to SZA for the longest time together. They're literally the two biggest SZA fans. Jordy's been to like 20 plus shows for SZA around the U.S. So like obviously, Jordy
Like,
met.
he went on tour with her.
He literally went on tour with her, and she knows that. Like she knows Jordy now, which is so fucking cool. Literally, SZA knows all my friends. Let's be so fucking for real. But anyways, like in Tampa, Jordy got picked out of the audience to meet SZA. It was this whole great experience. And since then, Oscar's kind of been like, I hope I get picked from SZA. And we've always like been manifesting it for him. So the other day was the concert. I felt left out. Oscar convinced me to go. I bought a $200 ticket last minute. I snuck onto floor. It was a great experience. Lizzo was sitting right behind me. No big deal. But I basically had my own experience on floor. Oscar was front row with Jordy. This is where the story will be passed.
Guys, and it was so crazy. Like, I mean, I've been to SZA before, but it's kind of like on the sides. But being front row was so crazy. Babe. Like,
Yeah.
it was so like surreal. Like, just seeing like your
Front
favorite.
row center. Just like center.
Exactly, and like just being able to see your icon and like someone that you look up to for so long, it's like it's just so surreal.
Yeah.
And well, everything was fine. Like everything was going great, and then she comes back out how she usually does, And then Jordy was telling me at this point, she's like, "Oh, you're for sure getting picked." I was like, "But I tried setting my standards low because I'm like, let's be so
No,
fair.
yeah,
Like,
I
if
was
I
thinking like how you must have been feeling in that moment because I know that you wanted to be like, I'm gonna get picked, but then the second you don't get picked, it's like the most heartbreaking thing.
exactly, so I was
Yeah.
just setting myself up, so just like in case it didn't happen.
Hmm.
So then when she comes out and she chooses me, I literally freeze. It was so embarrassing. I'm like shook, and then this is where everything becomes like a fever dream because it was so funny,
Yeah.
guys. Like the lights were like orangey, like sun
Yeah. It
vibes.
was towards her like the ending where like she had the whole sunset narrative going on.
Yes. And then I get chosen out, and then I'm like freaking out, and then like Jordy's like, go, 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 we have to go backstage now. So we're all walking, and then I look up to the stage where Pablo is, and then like they're like, oh my gosh, like you got chosen. It was just so
No,
surreal.
literally, guys, because so I was on the floor originally, right? Lizzo came by, everybody started freaking out. Somebody knocked over my drink. Security came to clean it up. They realized we weren't in the right seat, so I had to get my fucking ass out of there. So me and Max brought our happy asses to literally like section 102, got ourselves as close as we could, literally like right on top of like the alleyways where the winners would win after they get chosen. So I literally just remember like Oscar and Jordy, because they both got chosen, like they were walking through this aisle and I was just right there like, Oscar! And like he just looks at me and he's like, and then like the lights all orange and like he's literally like so shocked and everyone in the stadium's clapping for him and I was like, oh my gosh, like did my friend just win like a US title to like,
No,
be in the picture
literally,
or something?
that's
Like,
literally what it felt like. It just
mhm.
felt so surreal. Like just being able for my friends to see that too, which is
Yeah.
very like iconic.
And I wasn't even supposed to go like at all. Like he convinced me to go and I'm
Like
so
an
glad I was
hour
able.
before,
Yeah,
like
an
she even had
hour
gone out.
before. Like check out the TikTok to look at that.
No,
But
literally.
it was crazy. And Oscar literally went backstage to meet SZA and
And then so everything was fine. She's still like, it's so nice seeing your idol being like the actual person that she persuades herself to be, like even outside of like social media.
yeah.
Like she's so down to earth. She's so humble. I have literally nothing bad to say. She was the sweetest soul. Like so down to earth. Like you'd think someone that has like such high
Status.
social status to be like different, but she's so down to earth and so humble, and I love her for that.
Yeah.
And then that's when she had invited us to her second show, and that's when I freaked out because I was like, "Ain't no way I'm gonna go see her again." And it
Yeah.
was like floor tickets again. It was just that whole 2 days were so chaotic, and it was very like fun. It was very
Yeah.
like memorable.
Yeah.
Um,
Core
yeah, core
vibes. Core
memories.
memory, yeah.
And then the second night, I genuinely didn't think I was gonna be taken backstage because like there was this email sent to us saying that we couldn't, like it wasn't like a backstage ticket like the next day. So I was like, okay, like I'm down just to like see her again. Like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be mad if I don't see her again because at the end of the day, like it's whatever. And then towards the end of the show, that's when she was like, "Oh, my 18 from last night, you guys are for sure coming backstage." And that's when I was like, "Ain't no way I'm seeing SZA again."
Yeah, like she literally on stage was like my 18 from last night, like the group of people from the night before, like you guys are all coming back. And she chose Jordy again. Like literally crazy experience. But the interesting part about it is like Jordy got chosen a couple times, but he wasn't able to go backstage because they wanted it to be fair, which is a little bit confusing, but that's just what happened. But they let Oscar go back for the second night. So honestly, Oscar just got like very lucky. Like he had like the best scenario possible, honestly. And I mean he deserves it. He's like the biggest SZA fan. But it was just so crazy for me to experience it because I wasn't even supposed to go. I ended up going. Oscar got chosen, then got brought back the next day, then met SZA again. So it was like within 2 days, like everything changed because
Yeah,
SZA's like his everything. So like it was a very like visible shift of like Oscar's like energy and just like I don't even know. Like I can't like that's literally like me
yeah.
meeting like my idols like 2 days in a row, also being chosen. Like oh my ego would be too high. God knew not to give me that one.
No, literally, it was just so like I think I was telling like my friends, it's just so like I'm pretty sure I even told you, it's like it's so crazy like meeting your idol and someone who you look up to for so long, and then someone you cherish and someone you want to like be. If that makes
Yeah,
sense in a way.
he wants to be
I know,
SZA.
literally, I'm like basically. And then like the second night, it was very much more intimate because she separated the people that she had chosen for the second night, and then she separated it with the people that
We're
were
chosen that night.
chosen the night before.
Yeah.
So she was like, "Oh, like I want to separate you guys." So we were like, "Okay, like that's fine. Maybe she's trying to do something different, or something too crazy, or maybe like separate the pictures or something."
Mm-hmm.
Um, but once the people from the second night like got their pictures and everything, she literally goes up to them. She's like, "My A team," and it was like very like such a like a close experience, a closer like
Yeah.
because at this point we were just talking to her,
Yeah.
and it's just so down to earth. She's literally like the sweetest soul.
Yeah.
Like just talking to her and just being able to like talk to her without any like interruptions. It was just so
Yeah.
very cute.
And I feel like in this city, especially LA, it's like when you meet your idols, it's usually not the best experience. Like I've
Exactly.
met a lot of my idols, I would say, and the only one who's ever really been nice to me was Tana Mojo, love her to death. But like literally, like usually in those scenarios, like it's very like the power dynamic is very off. Like you know they're the celebrity, you know they're the one on top, you know they're the one giving you something. But in this case, I wasn't even there, and I knew like SZA went out on stage and she was like, the reason why I'm picking all of you guys is because I'm a human. I have so much anxiety. It is not
Yeah.
normal to be up here. And she's like, you guys might all think I'm famous, but no matter, I'm getting the goosebumps. She's like, no matter what,
No, me
this is
too.
not normal. Like, this
Yeah.
is not normal. Like, she's like, you guys helped me, you guys carried, and that's why I'm bringing you back. And I was like, whoa, like, she's real as fuck. And then the
Yeah.
fact that she like split you guys up, people could be like, oh, she cared about this more than that. No, she just cared about giving both groups of people her individual attention in a way that would have worked for her.
Exactly.
And I've said it many, many times, like, meeting your idol in a city like Los Angeles is literally like apple to orange. Like you usually like meet somebody different than the person you've watched your whole life. So for him to get that experience of SZA, like very calm, very genuine, and Jordy also met her, he says the same things. It's like wow, like SZA really ate down. Like she knows what
Yeah.
she's doing.
I know. That's why like one thing I was like not trying to perceive. I think she's just separated because she did say she was like because the date night one it was very much kind of seemed rushed, but it's
Hmm.
more so because like it wasn't kind of planned in a way.
Yeah,
It just
exactly.
definitely didn't seem planned, and there was like this one person, but who
Yeah,
was kind of like pushing it to go faster. But I mean,
yeah. I
you
mean,
can see that visibly that SZA really wanted to talk to us,
yeah.
which she it's just why she like
Yeah, I think there's just some like sometimes when you're on such a big tour, it's like you want to do everything you can, but you can't
yeah,
because you're not the one like paying for the tour. You're not the one like doing all like there's other people there.
exactly,
So sometimes people get in the way and it gets a little bit like weird and confusing. But at the end of the day, SZA was the most consistent thing throughout that whole night, and I think
exactly.
that that's like all that really he cares about. And
Yeah.
the Oscar called me after like bawling his eyes out and shit, and it was like so crazy because I was like, well, like he actually met SZA like that like that's like one of your
Yeah.
dreams like for
No,
life
that
like
was like a childhood dream that I've been. I mean, I've
yeah
been listening to her since way before Control.
yeah
Like since she like dropped C, like it, just stuff like that, and all her unreleased music is just
yeah
so like crazy.
so literally Oscar met his idol, talked to him differently. That's actually crazy. Oscar like
No,
rips off the SZA necklace, rips off
I know.
everything. He's like, I'm SZA.
I'm SZA
No,
now,
literally.
which is crazy because he had given me a necklace to give to her.
A boy Virgo
So then I
necklace.
literally like it was very much we couldn't give. I mean, I completely understand like not being able to
Safety,
yeah
everything like that.
safety and everything. So when she was sitting right next to me, it was like this kind of like vibe. Like it was she was so close to the point where I literally like I was like you know what I'm gonna just take it off because I had both of them on because I know like if I just had it in my pocket
They
I was
would
like
think.
it would like yeah. So I just left it on there and I'm pretty sure she took it because like it's right next to her
Yeah.
and she was like sitting there.
So
She
he
was
left a boy Virgo necklace for SZA. Talk to me differently now.
no thank you.
No, yeah, but honestly, such a core memory. So glad we went to that concert. Guys, honestly, like I'm gonna be so for real, like I feel like LA is just so weird. And like, I don't know, like I noticed it on my TikTok because I post TikToks obviously for my followers, but I obviously honestly post them for myself as well. Like just like kind of like core memories to keep going forever, like that we can look back on and just watch and everything. And a lot of my friends back home from Connecticut where I'm from, they were like texting me like your life looks so fun, your life is so chaotic. I'm like, babe, that's just like a normal Tuesday. And it was
Yeah,
literally like a Tuesday or like it was like a Sunday. So like
yeah.
literally like the amount of celebrities that just walk by, the amount of people you meet, the opportunity that my friend got to meet SZA, the fact that I showed up randomly last minute, ended up on floor, the fact that afterwards Oscar stayed to meet SZA and then I went home and then Oscar came to like it's just so like LA. Like
Yeah,
anything can happen so fast.
exactly.
Literally. And like I mean, I didn't have like the craziest moment ever, but I made so many connections that night. Like there was one of my friends there that's a really big influencer, and I'm not gonna like name drop because
Yeah.
like I don't need the narrative right now. But like he's like a huge influencer, friends with like the major A-list celebrities you can think of. And I saw him at the concert alone, and he was very, very overwhelmed because there were so many fans coming up to him, and I could tell like everybody was like blah blah blah, take a picture, and like he was literally walking around like like super awkward. So I went up to him and I was with my friend, and my friend is a big fan of this person. So he started being like, oh my gosh, oh my God. And I was like, okay, relax, like, relax. So I went up to him, I tapped him, and he thought I was another fan. And he was like, and he saw me and he's like, oh, thank God. I was like, bitch, are you okay? He's like, I don't know where my seats are. So we were able to help him out a little bit. And like that, even so, is like, I'm glad I had that moment because that is a friend that's a mutual. Like, they're obviously a lot bigger than me. But the fact that I was able to like help somebody out, like, show that I'm also just like a normal person because sometimes people
Because at the
think,
end of the day, I feel like that's what we really all are. Like we're,
period.
I feel like we're all like I think. we put celebrities and influencers to like a high, very
Yes.
like high
It's
standard,
so easy
and they're
too.
all literally just like people at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some people that take it further and just like
Oh
they
yeah.
get conceited and
Yeah,
everything, but
yeah.
there's a more obviously most influencers are just like down to earth and just like
Yes.
obviously they're human too. So I
Yeah.
feel like we need to treat them like the same way.
I think that like influencers are down to earth, but the environments and the situations they get put into can boost their egos a lot. Like,
Exactly.
going to like award shows, going like, this person, they were like, oh, where are you sitting? I'm like, oh, I'm sitting on the floor. I was like, where are you sitting? They're like, oh, I got sent here by blank blank. I'm like, let's be so fucking for real. Like, it's easy to get an ego when everyone's giving you all these things. So I don't really think it's necessarily like the influencer's fault for like these huge egos. I think it's like the brand's fault. Like, or like all these people
Yeah.
surrounding them that are like pushing and feeding into this narrative. Like I personally think the influencers deserve every single last minute of respect. I know how hard it is to get there. Like I've been at 400K for like how long? I don't fucking know. Like it's hard to keep growing, so I respect it. But like he said, like everybody's normal, and it's just like really good to have those moments where like you really like humanify, what is the word, like you just
Yeah.
normalize somebody's life and really just like talk to them, seeing this person so often with all these A-list celebrities and then being there to be able to help them and then being like thank you so much. And they also told me that like they've been noticing my content has been getting a lot like genuine and more authentic, which I really love just hearing that. And it literally just gives what Doja Cat said one time at the MTV Music Awards when she was hosting. She was like, all right, y'all, I'm going home. All y'all be famous somewhere else.
I
Like, you
remember
know
that
what I
was so
mean?
funny.
Like,
I
and
was
I was like,
like,
whoa, because they're all famous. Like, these people are living lives that are not normal. But when they're sitting in those chairs, they're tired, they're hungry, they want to go home. Like, you know what I mean? Everyone's
like the
just
Will
human.
Smith like slap.
Oh, the Will Smith shit. Like, no, like literally, like
Yeah.
every influencer has their own emotions that bring them to whatever they want to do. But when Doja said that, I was like, wow, like everyone's just human. Everyone's just trying to get home. Like literally, like go be famous somewhere else. Like y'all are gonna be famous, but you guys are just still human. So I think that Siza night was like a very big night for us to kind of just like understand that. And remember, I told you that like a lot. Like I
Yeah.
told you like in all honesty, like, and it's fine. Like when I moved to LA, I was the biggest fanboy ever. Like I stopped every single person and would ask them for a picture. Like the
I
bad wiggies,
yeah.
bitch. Like I freaked out when I met them
Oh,
and
but
asked them for
they
a
always eat.
picture.
Yeah.
They ate. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Love them to death. But like, let's be so fucking for real. Like there
Yeah.
was no need for me to freak out over the
Yeah.
bad wiggies like I did, and freak out about Keo Sire
Yeah.
and like freak out about like Corinna Cop. Like love them all to death, but like I would like Tana Mojo. I ran across a street of moving traffic to go get her. It was just a mess. But I feel like that's all needed to kind of like, just understand. Like I grew up in Connecticut, a small town. Oscar did like he was born and raised in LA, but he obviously has always respected people for like their hustles, their vibes, like their music, everything like that. So it makes sense. But I used to be a huge fanboy, like crazy. And then I kind of got over it as time went on because I realized we're all human. And Oscar, like, he was never like a fanboy in my eyes. But I feel like in the beginning, you'd be like, oh, should I ask for a picture? Should I like
Yeah.
ask this influencer for a picture?
That's
But
one of
then,
the very like distant conversations I remember like having with you because it
yeah.
was very like it makes sense.
Yeah. Wait, what
Because
did I
like
say?
I remember because it was
Like,
literally
tell the world what I said.
it was at Rolling Loud, and I
Yeah.
remember there
The
was a
first time we
lot
ever
of
hung out,
influencers
a
there,
lot of
like a lot of
influencers.
them. So so I was like, so I remember being like, oh my god, like I remember seeing someone I was like, should I take a picture? And you're like, well, like at the end of the day, like you're probably gonna see them again,
Yeah.
like, but it's up to you. Like it's also like they're just people. I'm like, you're right. Like, it
Yeah.
makes it so much more sense.
And it's all about like the long term thing. Like there's some influencers, artists, whatever that I love, and I like, like Selena Gomez. If I meet her, I'll probably make it very obvious that like I'm a fan, and that
Yeah,
like I'm not like I'm not gonna be too weird. But like there's a lot of influencers that like I would like to be friends with, and I think they're cool and everything like that. And I think that sometimes people don't understand how. And I know personally, because guys, I do not consider myself like an influencer. I consider myself like a micro. But that day at Rolling Loud was like, remember when that girl asked me for a picture or something? Or
yeah.
that girl
It
was like,
was
"Oh, I know you
multiple
from." It was
people.
multiple people, and
Yeah,
that was like the first time that's ever really happened to me. Like so consistently in LA. Like that day, moving on is when like a lot of people started like being like, "Oh, is that Pablo? Is that Pablo?" So when somebody asked me for a picture, I'm like, wait, I'm literally nobody right now. And like now my ego's boosted because they asked
yeah,
me for a picture. And now like I'm always gonna look at that girl as like a follower who asked me for a picture
yeah,
rather than like somebody who just came up to me authentically. Like Oscar and I, like we fully found each other from TikTok. Like I'm sure he saw some of my TikTok or stuff, but he was never
yeah,
like, oh, like let's take a like it was
yeah,
like let's hang, like let's chill. Like we started off very genuinely, and I think that a lot of people sometimes forget that. So like I think personally, like I could be wrong, but sometimes it is harder to become friends with somebody you idolize when you go up to them so full on and so like aggressively, but at the same time,
Because
if
you
it,
wouldn't do that with some like any other regular
exactly,
person.
and you
Like
don't
you wouldn't
want
be
to,
like, oh my gosh, let's be kind of like person. And exactly, like
yeah,
it
like you don't
makes so
want to
much
make
sense.
somebody feel like whoa, 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 or like anything. But
Yeah,
like it's different when it comes to like Siza or like Selena Gomez. Like those
yeah,
bitches deserve the respect. Like you don't have to like act cool in front of them, like type shit.
yeah.
But like there are levels to it, and I think it's really important to just remember that everybody's normal because you don't want to feed people's egos too much to the point where like now their egos fed to where they're gonna become a worse person, and now you can't even become friends with this person you respected at one point. It just makes everything sticky. So
Mhm.
yeah, I remember telling that to Oscar, and also that was a big learning lesson to me when that girl asked me for a picture because I was like, wait, I'm literally nobody. Like I am so grateful that she did that, but like I'm nobody, so like I understand that I'm literally the same as that girl, like literally. So I hope she doesn't think that I'm any different. Because sometimes people are like, "Oh, like I'm intimidated." Like people saw us the other day at WeHo, and people were saying in the comments like, "Oh, like we were intimidated to say hi to you guys." I'm like,
I know. I'm like, I
"Why?"
feel like we're very like kind of like we're just like hey, like we're always like jumping around. So
No,
it's like
yeah, I
we
think that's probably why. It's because I think people are intimidated by us, maybe because of our high energy
yeah,
and maybe that positive energy more so than like us being like mean vibes.
yeah. But we're
But
always down to like meet people and like
always, guys, if there's one thing about me and Oscar, if there's one thing about me and Oscar, we have been to WeHo 100 times. We have had special guests on our WeHo
you
appearances
know literally.
70 out of the 100 times, and they're always new people. Like we love to like randomly have someone tag along with
You
us.
know what would be so funny? We
What?
just like one night we go to WeHo, we bring one of them,
We bring what?
we bring one of them back, and then we're just like, this is our.
No, yeah, like we bring someone to wheel with us and then we bring them on the
No,
pod to like
literally.
talk about it with us. I feel like that'd be so fun. But speaking of WeHo and speaking of bringing people along with us, I need to talk about when we got jumped. I need to talk about when we got
Yeah, we
jumped.
definitely do need to talk about that because that
Guys,
was like very chaotic. It was like,
let's be so fucking for real.
let's be
um,
so for real.
okay, so I'm not a violent person. Oscar's not a violent person. We are not fighters. We are lovers. I honestly don't even know how this happened, and I think it could have traumatized us a little bit if we allowed it to, but
Yeah.
I don't think we let it that much. It's still a little scary because we were at WeHo the other day. I think we saw a couple people that were involved, but
And
we,
then I remember telling him like, oh my
yeah,
gosh,
you're like, oh my gosh, it's the people that
yeah,
like it's the person that you fought with, guys. Let's just talk about this really quickly because I haven't talked about it online, and I do think it's like important to note because it's a part of our story, whatever. So one night we went to WeHo and we went with a couple of our friends. We were very excited to go. We had a little pregame moment at my house. Oscar brought like this huge contraption to literally drink at my house, like buzz balls, Tito's, a bunch of like little mini handles, like sour gummies, all this crazy shit. Baja Blast, like that shit. We had a Baja Blast that night. Let's be so fucking for real.
yeah.
But
We took like 2 cups, then we were just like out,
like
out.
out, like hangover central also because we had so much sugar in it. Anyways, doesn't
Yes.
matter. But we end up getting to WeHo pretty late, and we immediately go to beaches. Beaches is like our go-to. I feel like
Yeah.
Oscar loves beaches the
I
most.
just love how like it's like so like very small, so and like it just already feels like a party.
Yeah, it's like easier to talk to people, easier to look at people, things like that.
Exactly.
And so, anyways, we go to beaches. That's our first vibe. Oscar, I mean, it's not bad. This isn't bad. Okay, basically, this is what happened. We're just gonna be honest with it,
Okay.
right? Right,
Yeah.
honest. Oscar saw a boy that he knew. He's seen him before. He's like, oh my gosh, like, you know, this boy's cute. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like, yeah, you guys should go talk. That'd be really cute. So Oscar's like, okay, I'm gonna go buy him a shot. I'm like, go off, King. So he goes, he buys this guy a shot. They start talking, they hit it off. Next thing we know, beaches is like not the vibe anymore. So we're like, let's get out of here. Keep in mind, guys, we were at literally beaches for like 20, 30 minutes before all this happened. Like we were barely even in WeHo. We barely even set foot. Like I wasn't even sweating dancing on a table at Mickey's yet. Like that's how early it was. So we're at Mickey's. We leave. This guy who Oscar was like hitting it off with, he's like, oh, like, I don't know. Like, did you tell him to come with us or something?
But oh no, we really didn't know because I remember I had told you guys I was like, oh, like he doesn't want to be here,
Okay.
and I was like, oh, like is there like should can we just go to another one? You guys were like, oh yeah, like we're down, like it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So we were like, yeah, it's fine. So we get our stuff. We don't have stuff. We just get ourselves together and we start walking out with this boy that Oscar was chilling with or whatever. Guys, literally within maybe a minute of us walking out from one club to the other club, this man, this random boy, comes up in between me and my friend and puts his arms around us. Guys, I have been through so many WeHo situations. I'm not going to let anybody touch me. You guys should not let anybody touch you guys either. I know it gets really hard in those environments and it is very toxic. I'm just saying this because I'm glad that I stuck up for myself. I don't regret it. But basically, the guy put his arms around us, and he was like basically trolling us. Like I forget what he was saying, but he's like, "Oh, what's up, Papi? Oh, just like just trolling
It was
us."
like slurring too. He
Like,
was
and he
like
was like,
really like,
like, he's
yeah,
obviously drunk. So I
yeah,
was like, what? I was like, who are you? And like, who are you? He's like slurring and stuff. And Oscar's right in front of us with the boys. So I'm like, Oscar, who the fuck is this? Because at this point, the guy's dragging it. Like, he won't let us go,
yeah,
holding his weight down on us. I don't know who you are. So I'm like, Oscar, who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? Oscar turns around. I'm like, I don't know. Next thing I know, guys, this man literally essays me, like literally
yeah,
just like completely violates me in like a very intense way. I don't want to talk about it too much, but completely does something that is just so fucked up to me
yeah,
and does it. So immediately, guys, there's been moments before where like I'm like fuck you, and then I walk away, but that's happened to me so much. I'm 22 years old now, like I'm gonna stick up for myself. So I turn around, I said, what the fuck? And I just pushed him. I didn't realize, I forget, guys, when you push a toxic masculine man, what is going to happen?
yeah,
A fight is going to break down. I'm not a toxic masculine guy. I'm not a fighter or nothing. I just defended myself. Like in the moment, subconsciously, I pushed this guy away from me. I said, what the fuck? And I pushed him as I should. In this moment, guys, the guy looks at me in the eyes and just turns like red or something, like he was embarrassed or something. And he just starts swinging at me like crazy, like punches me once in the face. And I remember punches me again. And I was like, what the fuck? It wasn't like, I wasn't like black eyed or anything, but like he obviously like hit me in the face. So I was like, what the fuck? So I grab him, I just like bring him to the floor, like as I fucking should. And the rest is history. But let's just say you should have seen the other guy. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Like anyway, so like I got in like a little tussle with this guy. You guys can probably like guess the rest. And then out of nowhere, quite frankly, out of nowhere, this big ass man just starts running across the street towards us. And I was like, oh my fuck.
yeah. And then at this point, I was like, okay, like I'm gonna go help Pablo because like what the heck? I'm like, like I can see what's about to happen. But then I see one of our other friends who was with us that night, like he started going into trouble, and then I see the guy that I was with, like someone starts running towards him. So I was like, okay, if my other friend is going towards Pablo, I can need to go with the other guy because
Yeah.
like it's gonna be like two versus
Like, so
one.
basically what he's saying is like we were with another friend plus the guy he was with. My friend came up to me to like kind of help me. So once he saw that big guy running towards the guy he was with, he was like, oh shit, like maybe I should help him. You know what I mean? Okay, cool. Just so that people don't think he wasn't helping me.
No, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then at this point, like I was like, okay, like everything was just happening so fast. I felt like people were coming. A lot of people were just joining in. Like
Yeah.
I felt like that's what it felt like.
It did. Like so many people started running because this guy who was fighting me, he was with his other friends. So once they saw him in a fight, I think they all thought they needed to fight. But what was weird, you guys, is literally like once I brought this guy to the floor, we like stopped fighting. Like it literally was like nothing happened. We just like got up and was like, my shirt was ripped, my glasses were off. Like it was like nothing even happened until this big man starts running at the guy that he's with and starts literally beating the fuck out of him. Like literally,
Yeah.
guys, like just started jumping this guy in front of our eyes. And we're like, what the fuck just happened? And then all of his other friends start coming and start doing all this crazy shit. And we're like, whoa, whoa. Out of nowhere, Oscar gets punched in the face out
No,
of
like I literally
nowhere.
got punched
Like
and like
Oscar's standing there, not even involved. Oscar gets socked. My other friend who's not even involved gets socked in the face. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I'm like, stop, stop. Next thing you know, like I think a police car drove by or something to the point where they all got scared and they like all ran away. And they're like, what the fuck are we doing? At the end of the day, guys, I don't really hold beef. I don't give a fuck. I don't think about these people. I'm not like I hate them. I want to fight. Like I don't care. I forget. I forgive. I don't even know what they look like. It's just more to say like, wow, like drunk people at WeHo will really just start a fight about nothing. So you have to be careful. I'm not mad at myself for defending myself, but I will take that into account next time. Like, well, like pushing a guy will lead to
but
a
I feel
fight.
like
But
that was like you were just defending yourself
I
in that
literally, of
moment.
course, yeah, like that's
Because I feel like
illegal.
no one should ever go through that, and I feel like it's something that like
I just personally couldn't imagine taking even 10 fucking shots of Tito's and touching someone unconsensually. Like, let's be
yeah,
so fucking for real. Like, that's so weird. And I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, wow, like us going to WeHo as like queer men
yeah,
is literally like not even a sense of how girls feel going out in public.
exactly.
I was thinking about that literally like 2 days ago. I was like, whoa, like guys touching you unconsensually, guys touching you because they think they can. We've had that happen to us so many times at
Yeah.
WeHo, and like we're men, like we're
Exactly.
like
Yeah,
guys, so we feel a little bit more for some reason. Like it's not as big of a deal. We're like, oh, we're
exactly.
guys, it's fine. If it was a girl, like it'd be so different, you know. And like if a girl was involved, like she maybe wouldn't be able to defend herself, which is so sad to me. Like I'm glad I was able to defend myself.
Yeah.
Like imagine if a girl pushed that guy. Like he's so drunk. Like what would he had done? Like you know, like
Exactly.
I literally thought about that the other day, and you know, us going to those clubs and stuff, and like I know a lot of other gay guys in this community, in this industry, in this like, in LA feel this way. Going to WeHo is like a place where it's almost okay for people to do whatever they want to you,
Yeah.
and I think that's a reason why we kind of stopped going to begin with.
Yeah, because we would go every. I feel like we would go like literally every weekend. And I
Yeah,
was like, oh well, sometimes we might not go this weekend.
yeah,
So then we might do something different, and then I
and
don't
then we
know.
end up at WeHo. I
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like at 2 in the
But it's definitely
morning.
not as much as we would go.
Oh
We would
no,
go
no.
Fridays and Saturdays,
Yeah,
sometimes even Sundays. We're
yeah.
like,
Bitch, I
whoa.
feel like we should talk about like the addiction of WeHo because I feel like you got addicted,
Oh no, for sure.
and
I
like
feel like
I was
okay.
addicted
I feel like
too
we should talk about the first time that we were
at WeHo.
like our first night at WeHo, like in depth.
Okay,
Like
do you want to talk? You want to start it?
yeah,
Okay.
guys. So like I've never been to WeHo. I was
Freshly
like
21.
freshly 21, and then at this point, like I started hanging out more with Pablo, and he was like, "Oh, you should come with me to WeHo one night." And I was like, "Oh, like kind of down, kind of
Yeah.
not." And then
That was also, sorry, that was the moments when I was going by myself. That was when I would
yeah,
be like, go to WeHo with me alone, go to WeHo with me alone. So when I was friends with Oscar, I was obviously excited to bring someone with me. And that just kind of escalated my whole like chaotic, unhinged era of WeHo.
yeah.
We got saying.
And then I was like, "Oh, like I've never been. Like I don't know the vibes." So I was kind of fully scared because I've like, I mean, it's like WeHo. I feel like everyone always talks about it. It's just
Yeah.
like a lot. But I was like, okay, what? But I was so indecisive to the point where it started getting really late, and it's like fully like 12:30.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and I was like literally just sitting in the couch, like this couch. I was like, oh, should we go? Should we go? Should we not? Eventually, we do end up going.
We get there at like 12:30 to 1, as
12:30 to
usual.
1. Yeah, exactly. And then at this point, we were like kind of like drunk, whatever. And then it was super fun. Like it was very like adrenaline rush because it's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, like I've never seen all these clubs lined up, and it's all these people, and it
And
was
it's
so
all and
fun.
it's all these gay guys too. It's like, you know,
Yeah,
like growing up as a gay guy, it's like you're not used to just seeing that, you know,
exactly.
especially because you're from like a different, you're not in
Yeah,
LA all the time, and I wasn't my whole life. So like that enough is like that adrenaline rush, like feeling community, like feeling like you could be yourself and like not get judged. I feel like that's a
exactly.
part where like that comes from that adrenaline
And
we
there was like
had.
so many. So it's just like seeing a lot of like gay people when you barely see them out in public. It's like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
It's
like
kind of like empowering, and it kind of makes you feel like you can be a lot and not be too much,
exactly.
you
And not like
know?
getting judged or whatever.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. And I think also like this was an issue with maybe our addiction to WeHo is like I started for some reason only going to WeHo after I would go live. So I'd go to WeHo at like 12:30, and I kind of picked up on like the narrative that WeHo is a lot more fun after 12:30 because everyone's
Oh
blacked out
no,
drunk.
literally.
So literally like you walk into like a crazy situation where everybody's like agreeing to black out and nobody really has any inhibitions or whatever it's called. So like everyone's just way more crazy, way more fun. And we thought that was fun in the beginning until we kind of got ourselves into a lot of sticky situations. But that first night, guys, I was like, okay, Oscar, like, what's our plan for tonight? And we're like, okay, we're gonna end up at the beach. Like, we're gonna end up at the
Yeah.
beach with some guys. Like, that's what's gonna happen. Like, we're gonna have the best night ever. We're gonna get drunk. We're gonna dance. We're gonna vibe. Literally, exactly what happened. We both like
Like we manifested our night.
we
Guys.
made it. And we will never forget that night. And we call it by the person's name that we can't. We should come up with a name for him because he really is core vibe.
Like we're from Connecticut.
He's not from Connecticut.
Canada.
Florida. I thought.
I think so.
I think we should call him like
A model.
model.
Oh no, that's like too big. Like let's be so for real. But we have white tea. Remember
White tea. We have
we
white
have
tea.
white tea.
Okay, white tea was Oscar's guy, right? Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have like 6'9". For like
6'9".
because he was like very
He was tall.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll call him 6'9".
6'9".
Of course, we do 6'9". We could have been 6'8".
I know, like,
We'll call him 6'9". So basically, guys, should I talk? So
we have to go in depth.
I know.
This
Okay,
like,
so basically, guys, I'm gonna be so for real. Like, I'm not tip. I'm typically like the more like it might be hard to believe. I'm typically more like the more masculine guy
Yeah.
in my relationships. Like that's always how I've been, whether it's been with guys or girls. Like, you know, like living in LA, being friends with the people I'm friends with, I'm so glad I'm able to express myself more without caring. But I've always been that masculine, you know, the masculine guy.
Yeah, like,
So going to WeHo this night, there was this one guy called, we'll call him 6ix9ine.
6ix9ine.
He basically was like a model. Like he literally was not supposed to be there.
I
Like
know.
literally, like
Like just standing by himself.
he
I'm
just
like,
came out of
whoa.
GQ or something.
And
Like
we're all just like, what's going
yeah,
on here?
and also I'm not gonna lie, you guys. Oh wait, no, I have to be honest about this. I was live before that day, and he joined my live, and he was like,
yes,
yeah,
I remember. Yeah.
and he was like, oh hey, and I saw him. I was like, whoa, why is this like model on my live?
Yeah.
And then we followed each other on Instagram, and then that night I was like, he's like, oh, I'm in WeHo. I was like, so am I. So we met up. That's what happened with him. But then this boy called White T started like flirting with him, and I was like, wait, whoa, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So I told Oscar, I was like, Oscar, I need you to flirt with White T so that I can be with 6ix9ine. And he was like,
Yeah.
okay. He immediately got it done. Immediately handled the situation.
Me and White T were.
Him and White T were White T-ing. They
White
were
T the whole night.
They were all around that little
Yep,
club.
Yep.
And me and 6ix9ine were 6ix9ine. I'm kidding. No, not at all. Nothing happened. But I was, guys, if I'm gonna be so real, like I was in my like submissive ass era or something for that night.
No, we were. I feel like we're just like I will. Obviously, it's my first time, so I want to go all out. I don't
Yeah.
want to like. So I was going crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, good morning.
No, yeah. Did you guys like kiss or anything that night?
Yeah.
Okay.
We like made out for a little bit.
Yeah. So, but like my 6ix9ine model guy apparently had never had a kiss in his entire life. Remember when I tried to kiss him?
Oh yeah.
And he was like, why are you trying to kiss me?
He's like, no, right now.
He's like, not right now, right? I was like,
wow.
then when?
And he's like, come on.
I'm like, we're at the second floor beaches in WeHo. Like, then when?
No, literally.
So, anyways, I didn't really care, but I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like, I was like, look. Oscar makes fun of me. He says I had puppy dog eyes because this guy was so tall.
He was like, oh my god.
But I was like, oh my gosh.
I was like, please.
I
I'm
just
like, what is the
love
narrative?
the way you like comb your hair to the left.
Guys, I
and,
was
like,
so uncomfy. I was like,
also, guys, need to be clear. I'm taken, completely happy. This is just a moment I'm talking
this
about.
happened like
It's
what,
funny.
like 6 months
This
ago?
was like, yeah, more than 6 months ago,
Yeah.
like so long ago. It was just hilarious, and it started like our whole WeHo narrative.
Yeah.
So basically, I chilled with 6ix9ine that whole night. You chilled with YT until where did he go? Did he disappear?
Yeah, so he like his sister got like super drunk, so he was like, I have to go home. And I was like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then this is when like we were at Mickey's, which is like the only club that's open
Until
besides
4 a.m.
besides Heart, like
Yeah.
until 4 a.m. And we had gone there, and like back then, I mean, I feel like I was very like out and about.
Yeah.
And then I remember this guy was like trying to flirt with me now, and look at Pablo because I was so drunk. I was like out of it. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I remember telling Pablo, I was like, is this guy cute? Like, do you think he's attractive?
Guys, this is an issue between Oscar and I. First, and now we have the code word Siza for this reason. But basically, once the YT guy left, the white tee is what we're saying, white t-shirt, not white tee. But, you know,
Whoa.
But so basically, like I was chilling with 6ix9ine throughout the whole night, and you know we weren't like making out or anything, like dancing or anything. We were just chilling. But Oscar obviously like wanted to like, you know, just find someone else to talk to. Like, you know, we're singing, we're having fun. So there was this one guy who we will call Pink Panther.
Pink Panther. I'm like, I Spice.
Yeah. Oh gosh, this is where we're dragging it a little bit. We love Ice Spice dash Pink Panther. Like they're amazing. We love your
like
new
good
song.
energy.
Yeah, good energy, very cool. But just obviously not Oscar's vibe. Like in terms of like just relationship, in terms of hooking up, in terms of just talking. Like,
and I don't want to waste people's time because I don't want someone to be the same way.
Exactly.
So in that case, I was just more so just like I made it very clear.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
And he was drunk too, so he came up to me and he's like, Pablo, like, is this guy cute? I don't know why I was under the impression that this boy was was like super tall, super buff, having like a Cuban link. He did have a Cuban link. He always wears that. But like, I was just like, I saw something completely different. So we took our happy asses to 6ix9ine's family van.
No, literally. So it's me, Pink Panther, 6ix9ine, and Pablo, and we're all like walking it down, like holding hands. I'm holding hands with Pink Panther, and
because remember, guys, the goal was to end up at a beach with guys. That was our goal.
And
like,
he was visiting. 6ix9ine was visiting, like just for a little bit.
Yeah.
And he had rented out a van, like a mom van.
A mom van. Like he was literally in LA with his family. Took the family van to WeHo that night. And then we got in his family. Like literally. But keep in mind, guys, like nobody was trying to like be crazy out here. Nobody was trying to give it up. Like nobody, like we were just having fun.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't kissed. Like it wasn't a whole narrative that you guys would think it is. Like I just wanted to go to the beach to watch the sunrise and be drunk. Like that was my energy that I wanted, you know? So that's what was our goal. So literally as WeHo's ending, we stayed our asses there until like 4 a.m. because That's when it closes. We were like, oh my gosh, like you should bring us to the beach. And he's like, okay, like I have to be at the airport in like 4 hours. I'm like, okay, get your ass in the fucking car and drive to the beach. Like
Yeah.
I was being a little bit like, let's fucking
I was
go.
like, okay,
And he was
submissive
like,
era.
okay. So we all get in the car. I'm sitting in the front. Oscar's in the back with Pink Panther. And then that's when I start to sober up a little bit and realize that Ice Spice is no longer Ice Spice.
Ice Spice is
Ice Spice is like giving like is
Jojo Siwa.
like oh god.
No, we love Jojo Siwa.
We love JoJo Siwa.
We stand JoJo Siwa.
We stand JoJo. But
it's just okay. I don't want to. I literally okay. This is the way that I see it. I'm trying to say is that I like men very masculine.
Yeah,
like
that's the only
very
thing.
I want them to be like basically like really buff, tall, like hey, what up, Pato?
Yeah.
Like where you at? Kind of
Yeah.
like vibe.
Honestly, me and Oscar like switched that night.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what happened, but like we switched because
Yeah.
like if anything, I should have been with JoJo Siwa and you
Yeah.
should have been with like 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
Like you know, like that's like more would have made more sense.
But
But
I mean, no shit. I mean, like the guy's still very like attractive. It's just not
Oh,
my
yeah.
like, not like my type.
no, guys, like in all honesty, both of them are super attractive. It's just for some reason we were completely under the impression that JoJo Siwa was like The Rock.
Yeah.
Like it was just like I don't know what was going on. So
The Rock.
The Rock. So like imagine us parked at Santa Monica Beach at 5:30 in the morning. Sunrise is about to go up. Me kind of being super like witty and super quick with everything, but also like
You just go walk down the pier.
yeah, I was being very like not aggressive, but very like demanding almost. Like I was kind of being like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Like bring us to the beach. Like we had a plan and we
Yeah.
needed to get that plan. So I was like, all right, let's go walk on the beach. And then the 6ix9ine, the guy that I'm with, this is when his energy shifts a little bit. He starts to be like,
And I started hearing that. I was like, what is going
the fuck? And I'm
on?
like, what? He's like, I really don't want to be here right now. This is the last place I want to be. I was like,
And then I heard that. I was like,
I
whoa.
was like, okay. He's like, I just don't want to be here right now. I was like, we can leave then. And I was joking. I wanted to get my happy ass on that pier.
Yeah.
He was like, okay. He just starts driving away. I'm like,
No, yeah.
oh,
But
shit.
then Pink Panther was like, I gotta go pee first. So I was like, oh,
Yeah, no,
okay.
they went outside, like started going peeing and everything. But like 6ix9ine was pissed. So we ended up going back home. He dropped us back off where?
So I had parked my car somewhere like because I had to go pick up something before we had gone to WeHo, and I had to park my car somewhere like a little far. So he was like, "Do you want me to drop you off at just the apartment or to your car?" And I was like, "Well, we can't get into Pablo's apartment because he left his keys in my car." So we ended up driving to my car, and then he dropped us off there,
Yeah.
and then that's when we ended up coming back.
And
over
then he
here.
went home, got his happy ass.
But at that point, it's like fully like 7 in the
It was
morning.
at 7. Okay, so this all goes back to that was a very fun, chaotic night. But I think that is why we were addicted to WeHo. Because
Yeah.
we had a really fun, chaotic night. We made like our manifestations come true that night. But also like it was Oscar's first night and it was like the best experience it could have
Exactly,
been. You know?
yeah.
Like we had so much fun. And from then, like we kind of came up with the narrative like, okay, it's okay to go after 12:30 every single time. So literally me and Oscar
Yeah.
went like 20 times after that after
Yeah.
12:30. And that became like our new narrative, which is fine. But when you go that late, it's very much so about like getting as drunk as you can, as fast as you can, because
Exactly.
the bars close at 1:45, and also just like getting all the conversations you can with people. So like literally,
Yeah.
guys, me and Oscar would like do rounds. Like we would we'd like walk around, like see our options.
Yeah.
Like, you like if there were one thing about me, like I was scouting. Like
Yeah.
I was like fucking like Tyra Banks on America's Next Top Model. Like I was looking for another 6ix9ine. Like
Yeah.
I was like every time if you see me in WeHo, it's not drinking, it's not partying. It was
No, literally, I was just like with
looking
her.
around. Like we would always do that.
We have this look where we just like do a little side eye. We're just like,
Yeah,
okay, like,
side
we're,
eye.
like
And keep in mind, guys, it was literally only to really make friends and make mutuals and like make connections, but like hot
Yeah.
and hot connections, you know?
exactly.
And like that's kind of where the addiction came from. It wasn't from like hooking up with people. It was more so from like
Because that never happened. I feel like I feel like maybe like happened once or twice.
Yeah,
where we actually like
yeah, we always end up back home together.
Yeah.
Like we always like we never like leave with people. Like it's not the point isn't to hook up. The point is to like hook up with them connections if you know
Yeah,
what I mean.
yeah.
Like you know, so
exactly.
that's kind of what we did. Like guys, when I used to go alone, like when I was going by myself, like I would kiss somebody here and there. That just wasn't a vibe. Like no need to be kissing people. But I mean, I learned, I lived, I laughed, I loved. But yeah, now I'm in a happy relationship.
Live, laugh, WeHo.
Yeah, no, literally, guys, we're WeHos. We always
Yeah.
say that like WeHos for the WeHos, and we're the WeHos.
No, literally.
And now we're We Knows.
I mean, we know
We're gonna
now.
end up there on
Like
every
tonight.
weekend. So literally, like I need to
Tonight.
show my ass every weekend. But yeah, so like WeHo's just like really addicting because it's one of the only places where like you see so many people like you around you getting drunk, having fun. It's very empowering. It's really amazing, and it's like a good place to just kind of like talk to people. Like
And
that's
let
really
loose.
what it is.
I feel like we just work so much during like the
Mm-hmm.
weekdays, and it's just like during.
Mm-hmm. No,
you,
yeah.
I feel like during the weekends, it's just like it's a very good like stress reliever and
Yeah,
like
it's like a stress reliever, but
but sometimes it adds stress.
because guys, I don't think not a lot of people know this. Oscar's a full time manager at Canes. Like
Yeah,
he has a whole ass position. Like he has a whole ass job. Like that's like a whole ass thing. Like he's in charge of a lot, you know. And then I have my own business. I go live all the time. I have my content creation shit. Like we're not complaining, and maybe we are, but like at the end of the day, it's like we did really value those Friday and Saturdays to
yeah,
go out, which is why we would do it so often. But I think now, like as we're getting older and everything, like we're putting like our value in more so like hanging out sober, like
yeah,
making like for me making content that lasts forever, like going to a Siza concert together, like going
exactly.
thrifting, like us getting Chick-fil-A after, like stuff like that, like because it can get really draining when you only hang out with your friends in a
It's like a we
situation like
drunk.
we
Yeah,
hope, because then it's like, okay, I only know Oscar drunk, or
yeah,
Oscar only knows me drunk, or I only know Oscar right before he's about to get drunk type shit.
exactly.
And I feel like that's something really big that we learned. Wow, it turned off.
I'm like, and we'll be right back after this pause.
Wait, did yours turn off?
No, so I'm a pause break.
Yeah, let me check. Let's see if it's gonna work. Or when it turned off. Okay, we had to take a break because my microphone turned off. Oh my gosh. Hi. I'm filming pod. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Hey guys, we had
That's like
to.
a new thing I say now.
I'm feeling pod. Guys, we had to take a little break because his microphone died. But
Anyways, so yeah, we were basically just talking about WeHo, why it's addicting,
and like
everything
where
like
we are
that.
now.
Where we are now. Where do you think you're at now, like with your life? Like, what's your vibe?
I
I,
genuinely feel like after all of that, it was like you said. I feel like it was very draining. I felt like I mean it was fun in the moment because I mean I was so young. I was so am young,
it
but
was literally like
like
6 months ago.
no, literally. But I just felt like it was so much so fast. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
like it
now
all you got pushed into that world very
exactly.
fast.
So now that I'm like getting more connections with like people like I actually want to like hang out with more and like make deeper meetings instead of just like meeting them at WeHo and then just like never talking to them again type
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah. So essentially, I think we're both just like in our era of like prioritizing ourselves, our mental, like not really putting so much energy into the things that take energy away from you type vibe. Like, why would we put so much energy into getting to wheel at the right time, drinking before we need to, looking so good if we're just gonna black out, be tired afterwards, and our energy is gonna be drained? We might as well put
Exactly.
that energy into something like a podcast, be tired afterwards, and have it the longevity of it continue like in more meaningful ways. That's just where I think it's turning off its share.
On my shares,
Okay,
sharing.
so that's just where we're at personally. I stay my ass home every day, work on Boy Virgo. I go live. I am just taking care of myself, my eating habits, my gym habits, everything like that. And what are you doing?
Well, right now I just want to say I think also like SZA really motivated me too. I mean, obviously I was motivated for it, and I have like my bigger goals in life than just working as like a manager right now. I'm still going to school, so just finishing school and then pursuing other things too. Like I want to be more creative too. So it's
Yeah,
just hitting those kind of parts of like aspects of my life and just seeing how far I can get.
yeah,
Just really focusing on stuff like that,
yeah.
you know.
And guys, we've talked about a lot today. This is just our first episode. We don't really know, like, we don't have any talking points. We're just talking off our heads. So if it's a little bit chaotic, that's why. But I honestly think you guys are gonna like this vibe, and I'm excited to put this out. So yeah, and thank you guys.
Thank you guys. So
For
honestly,
listening.
this is just us switching water.
Yeah, this is literally. He keeps saying that us
I'm
switching
like,
water. I'm like, where did
we're
you
like,
learn that
where's the
from?
water?
Yeah, no, like if there's one thing about, like, I'm like, if there's one thing about me and Oscar, we are literally like babies, like fed information. Like the second we hear a phrase, we won't stop saying it. The second we think of something funny, it's the new joke for the next
No,
week.
literally.
The second we catch up on a good WeHo vibe, we're there for the next 4 weeks. Like we're literally like we're very like as like a baby in a new world. Like we just take every experience for what it is.
No,
And
literally.
like him saying touching new waters. I don't know where this man
I
heard that
know,
from,
like
but he said it 3 times. Like I keep saying, I don't know what I keep saying, but I keep saying something. But yeah, anyways, guys. Yeah, this was our
thank you
podcast.
guys for listening, honestly. And then if you
And
guys want more, like having any suggestions,
yeah,
put it
let us
down.
know. And yeah, and at the end of the day, Let's be so for real. That's so good. Okay, anyways, bye.
How about you on Facebook?
I'm like our first podcast, and then all of a sudden, like all the like microphone people and camera people are like, "Good job, guys!
I
Like,
know,
thank
like,
you guys,
right,
thank
thank
you,
you
thank you."
guys.
Shadow's like dead. He's like, "Y'all are boring as fuck." All right, bye. Oh wait, our dance. Okay, anyways, bye.